right, this is Carson and Jordan from Sophus Buds, and Jordan had the lucky privilege of playing the Titanfall Alpha game that he was invited to, and so I'm going to kind of ask him some questions because I haven't seen it personally. But
he's interviewing the master.
Yeah, I'm interviewing Jordan,
the master.
So anyways, about the gameplay, there were rules. He cannot post any gameplay or any pictures of it, but they didn't say anything about talking about him, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him. So first I want to ask him about the 6-on-6 limitations. So how was the 6-on-6 limitations? How did that play into the gameplay?
It sounded like it would be a bad idea. You know, you get in the lobby and you see there's only 12 people in the lobby and you're like, oh, this is going to kind of suck. But then the way that AI set up and the way the Titans are set up, if you had more than 6 people with Titans on a team, it would just be awful.
It would be an overload?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's already, like, because, I mean, this is alpha gameplay, so it's going to be kind of, it's like a little scary. But it was a fun game. It was extremely fun. But, like the 6-on-6, the way you work with the AI a little bit. The AI, they're pretty awful, but they can push the game forward a little bit, like go attack objectives for you and everything. Kind of like Battlefront.
How many AI is it on each team?
I think it's, you have your 6 people, and then I think there's a max of 14 AI.
Okay.
And the
so
way
it's
that,
kind of like 20 on 20.
Yeah. Well, the AI is set up, there's squads.
Can they be in Titans?
No.
Or are they just basic soldiers?
Basic soldiers.
And you're a super soldier.
Well, there's 3 different types of AI that I saw. And I mean, I played probably 50 games of it at least.
Yeah.
So you have your grunts. They're called the grunts, and they're just the basic, like, just got out of training soldiers who can't shoot straight.
Gotcha. So villains from movies.
Yes, villains from movies. And then you have the leader of those squads, who's a little bit better, but not too much. I've only been killed by a grunt one time, and I was so embarrassed.
I was just too.
Because out of all my 50 games, I got killed by one grunt, and it was because I backed into a corner where one was hiding, trying to take an objective. I didn't realize he was there, and he meleeed me in the back.
Gotcha. So there's assassinations, one hit in the back kill.
Yeah. Well, when you do it from behind, okay, the melees are weird because you, instead of just punching them or knifing them or anything, you don't use your knife for melee. You use your knife for other stuff like hacking. You stab the knife in electronics and it hacks stuff.
Okay, well, I mean, that's different.
And then the melees, though, you jump and like ninja karate kick them in the back.
Well, talking about those mechanics, you were saying something earlier about the sprinting. How's the sprinting?
Oh, okay, yeah. There's an option, and I've never seen this in a game that I know of, where the default option is, you have to tap the stick in to sprint. Well, then there's two different options, or 3. The normal default where you have to click the button in. Then there's the I can't remember what they called it. But pretty much after you run for so many seconds, you start sprinting without having to click the button in. And then there's the auto sprint that no matter what, as long as you're moving, you're sprinting. And there's unlimited stamina.
Okay, and I got another question. So, from the gameplay, you look kind of like the soldiers that you're going to be. They have great mobility, and that kind of plays into the so the Titans aren't overpowered is because of the mobility of the foot soldiers. So is that true?
That is true. I mean, the Titans are they're going to be a lot stronger than any foot soldier.
Yeah, but the mobility.
But the mobility. I've taken down a few Titans by myself on foot. It's hard to do. I've died more than I have taken any down on foot because they have a shield and then they have their separate health or whatever.
Okay.
And then after you take the health and shield out, they go into this. It's called the Doom stage, where no matter what, they're going to explode, but they can still run around and kill stuff for a limited amount of time.
Okay. So I got a question about the verticality of the maps. Since they have the jetpacks and it's about like running on the walls and all kind of stuff. How did the verticality kind of play into it?
Well, that goes along with the mobility. It's all real smooth. Like you can jump from wall to wall to wall and just keep running.
So it was as smooth as they portrayed.
Yeah.
In the trailers. Okay.
And like the E3 one where they jump off the billboard, jump over the cracked piece of earth and onto another billboard, that was actually in there. I was wondering if it worked as well as it did.
And it did.
And I did it like every time I got on that map. It's so fun.
Okay.
But the verticality, it wasn't portrayed much in the demo because the maps were... There was 2 maps in the demo. It was Angel City and... Fracture, I think was what it was called. One was just an actual city, and it had some verticality there, but the main majority of it was you would double jump because you can jump and then use your jetpack to get a boost. And you would double jump into windows of buildings and try to get up there without having to take the stairs. That's what main.
So you can kind of play in the buildings. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and but that was the most verticality, I think. And you could get up, like you could climb the wall, kind of. Like you could run up the wall, jump off, and then jetpack onto the wall and just keep doing that up a wall.
So there were smaller places though where only the foot soldiers could get, and the Titans couldn't get you.
Yeah. Titans cannot jump; they can only strafe, which is they're actually a lot more mobile than you would think they would be.
Really? Kind of like a big mantis.
Yeah, a big mantis that can actually move.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so you were talking about the maps, so let's just get a basic idea. How big were the maps? Were they probably weren't Battlefield-sized maps.
I wouldn't say Battlefield, but they were bigger than a lot of the Call of Duty maps.
A lot, okay.
Because you had to have enough. I mean, you're moving fast at all times.
Yeah, it seems like a very fast-paced game.
It is extremely fast-paced. A lot of times you would get into a game and it would be over before you even realize. Like,
right, how quick were the games? 5 minutes?
They could last anywhere between like 3 to like 12 minutes, I think.
Really? So you could probably play 10 games of it before one game of Battlefield?
Exactly.
Okay.
Playing a game of Russian Battlefield took me an hour and a half once, so.
So, okay, on the Titans for the Alpha, how many classes of Titans were there?
Well, you only got to use one.
You only got to use
one.
one?
You got
How
to
was
custom. It was called the Atlas, and it's the tank of the Titans. So, of course, you had a lot of health. And I wonder how this is going to play out when they actually introduce the other ones. Because this one's slower, and even with it being the slowest one, you could still get around really fast.
Really? So I wonder how fast the faster ones are.
Yeah, because then you have 2 more smaller ones. One's mid, it's got mid shells and mid mobility, and then there's one that's just super fast. I wonder how that's going to work out. But you got 3 weapons. One was the chain gun, and it was just an assault rifle almost. Then there was one that's kind of like a carbine. So it shoots like, well, not, I guess like a World War II carbine is what I meant to say, because carbines can be assault rifles. By that I mean something like an M1 Garand where it shoots one at a time, semi-auto.
But it's a more powerful shot.
Yeah, and then there's the quad rocket launcher. And it shoots a spiral of rockets that spin around as they get closer.
Cool.
And then each player in Titan has its own set of abilities. And you get to customize all this once you get to a certain rank. Okay. And the player, they can go invis, or they can have increased health and regen. Or the Titan has like rockets that will come off of his back. And the thing from the E3 demo where he like grabbed the bullets out of the air, looked like the Force almost, that's actually a basic Titan thing. Every Titan has that.
Really? Oh, that's neat. Alright, well, thank you for giving your basic opinion. So, what would you say your gameplay experience? Let's say we'll base it out of 10. What would you rate it? As this is alpha, of course. This is just alpha. Because
of the like small alpha problems, I mean it dropped at maybe 1 or 2. But I would say that I'll give that a good 7. So I mean when it's done and everything, it'll probably be a 9.
So it'll be a really fun multiplayer experience.
Yeah, it's really fast paced. Like you're called a pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
And because you can pilot Titan, you're the only ones that can pilot a Titan. So they call you the pilot. Well, I would drop in, and then like the way you get your Titan is you're on a timer, and every kill you get goes towards the timer, like taking time off so your Titan to drop in, and you can drop it in, and you can either just run and get in it right off the bat, or make him follow you around or stand in one place and guard it. Like if you're playing domination, you can drop him on one objective and just make him guard it, or you can make him run around with you and try to get rack up on kills. Yeah, so a lot of times
that seemed like a cool feature, how you could kind of
a lot of times instead of actually
being in it,
I would get on foot, drop him down, and make him follow me to another Titan. And a lot of times if you see another Titan, you're not going to worry about the foot soldiers.
Yeah,
you're going to worry about the other Titan. Well, there's this thing called rodeoing, where you jump on the other Titan's back, rip off their panel, and then start shooting their electricity, so you bypass all their shields. So I would take my big Titan and jump on their back because they'd be distracted by my auto Titan, and I would rip off their panel and kill them.
Well, there you go. And that's coming out in March.
March 11th, I think.
Mm-hmm. So right now, since this is an Xbox One exclusive.
No, it's on 360 now.
360, sorry.
And PC.
Same thing. Did you play it on the Xbox One or 3? Call of Duty Ghost and Battlefield 4 really are the only multiplayer competitions, I would say, because of its shooter type. I mean, you have Assassin's Creed.
This one I can definitely say though was a unique experience.
Yeah.
I've never.
It definitely seems like a different gameplay. Something new.
I was like, oh, this is gonna feel like Call of Duty just with mech suits, like something like Battlefield, or maybe something similar to Battlefield 20 whatever. The futuristic one, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was 2142.
I'm not really sure.
And
I
played a little bit. I haven't played too much. I thought it would feel something like that, but no, it was really unique, and I enjoyed it.
So you're looking forward to it?
I'm definitely like this. I was like, oh gosh, I overhyped Call of Duty. I was so excited for it, and this game sucked. I'm like, I'm overhyping Titanfall, but at least I get to try it out before I actually go buy it. And it actually filled my expectations and made it seem even better. So I'm pretty excited.
The alpha. Okay. Well, that's exciting. We're all looking forward to it, and stay tuned for future gameplay when it launches.